Welcome everyone to the Brick House channel. My name is Chris. This is my channel. I cover everything from pop culture to entertainment to news, politics, sports. You name it, I cover it. And today, we are just a mere 2 weeks away from the vote. That's right, the vote on board seats at Disney. Now, for those of you that don't know what's going on, there's a proxy battle happening between Nelson Peltz and Trian Partners and Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, because currently Bob Iger controls the board. They're a bunch of yes men. Bob speaks and they go, "Oh, okay, yes, Bob, whatever you want." There's really no oversight from the board as it pertains to Disney. Well, Nelson Peltz has nominated himself and former Disney CFO Jay Rasulo to be voted on to hopefully become board members. Now, are they going to change things at Disney? No, they're not going to change things, but they will shake things up a little bit. So in the last couple of weeks, we've had Bob Iger come out and do a town hall where he basically said nothing. We had a little pre-recorded video message from both Nelson Peltz and Jay Rasulo that was actually pretty well produced, and they answered a lot of questions. Even though those questions were handpicked, mind you, they answered a lot of questions. They laid out their vision. Again, unlike Bob Iger, who put out a bunch of nothing. Well, since these two little town halls and videos and whatnot, Disney's put out a video of their own as to why people shouldn't vote for Peltz and Rasulo, as well as the Blackwells, the Blackwell Group, or Blackwell's Capital, to gain board seats. And it was just a few weeks ago where the grandchildren of Walt Disney and his brother, Roy O. Disney, issued open letters criticizing the activist investors, threatening to shake up the Disney board, and threw their support behind Bob Iger. Well, fast forward now, we're into the Ides of March, and Disney's largest individual shareholder has come out with a statement supporting Disney's board as it currently stands, and CEO Bob Iger. And that largest individual shareholder would be none other than George Lucas. So it begs the question, does Bob have something on George? Or did George get another big fat check? I mean, he did get a big fat check back in 2012 when he sold Lucasfilm to Disney. Well, it wasn't just a check. He got 37.1 million Disney shares. And yeah. So here's where we're at, folks. We got the shareholder meeting, the annual shareholder meeting for Disney. That's going to be held virtually on April the 3rd. And that's when investors are going to vote on who they want to be on the Disney board. Of course, Bob Iger wants his 12 yes men. Because again, they don't check Bob. They don't provide a check and balance. They just go, "Okay, Bob, whatever you want." Or they can vote for Nelson Peltz and Jay Rasulo, or three individuals from Blackwell's Capital. Now, in Lucas's statement, he says that creating magic is not for amateurs. What he's trying to say is that, Nelson Peltz has no media experience. Well, I'm sure there's other board members that don't have any media experience. Some would say that could be a swipe at Kathleen Kennedy, because remember, Kathleen Kennedy worked for Lucasfilm for quite a while. She got George's coffee, and by all means, some would consider her an amateur, especially with the way she's run Lucasfilm into the ground. Now, Disney has opposed the candidates nominated by Trian and the Blackwells, which it doesn't surprise me they're opposing Nelson Peltz, but really opposing Jay Rasulo, who, I can understand why they don't want him on the board, because, he kind of knows where the bodies are buried. He kind of knows the secrets because he is a former CFO of the Disney company. And I believe he also ran parks at one time. So he's got the inside scoop. And I'm sure that's the reason why they don't want him around. Now, last week, Disney released its strongest rebuttal to Peltz to date in a video that called the proxy fight being waged by Trian disruptive and destructive. And Peltz's quest also seems more about vanity than a belief in Disney. Why else would he sell 500,000 Disney shares over the past 6 months in the middle of his proxy fight? Well, why is it that Bob Iger has sold 80% of his shares in the last year? So, now that George has tossed his hat in the ring, this ought to make it really interesting to see how this actually unfolds come April the 3rd. My opinion is Bob's going to get his 12 yes men. Still, it's going to happen. There ain't no stopping it. He's going to fend off Peltz. He's going to fend off Blackwell's Capital. He's going to keep his 12 yes men. But there is a little date hanging out there, which is 2026, that Bob Iger supposedly is going to retire again, even though he didn't really retire the first time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Probably not, in my opinion, this coming April the 3rd at the annual shareholder meeting. I think it's going to be more interesting to see what happens come 2025. So, what do you guys think out there that follow this stuff? What do you think about George throwing his weight behind Bob? Do you think George got a little payday for that? Little under the table money for that? Comment down below. Share your thoughts, share your opinions. While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you to the 15,000 plus of you that have subscribed in the last year. And if you're new here to the channel and you've made it through this video, watch some others. And if you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. And with that, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.